Hello, I'm Harriet Belderbos with the Mersey News Live headlines. Nurses and ambulance staff are on strike for the second day across the region. It marks the most disruptive industrial action in the NHS history, with healthcare providers striking all week with an exception of tomorrow. They want better pay, a safer working environment and to be valued as NHS staff. Connie Harpen reports.
NHS staff across England and Wales have received an average pay rise of 4.75%, with the lowest paid being guaranteed a rise of at least £1,400. Ministers say that's as much as they can afford and that the rise is honouring in full the recommendations of the NHS pay review body.
We're understaffed, we're underpaid and we're undervalued, and there isn't enough nurses coming in the door to cover those that are actually leaving the NHS because of poor working conditions. Patients are put at risk every single day, not just today because it's strike day, every single day our patients are put at risk.
Healthcare unions have rejected the offer as they want a rise that at least matches inflation, which is currently at 10.1%. The Royal College of Nursing is striking for more, wanting inflation plus 5%.
We just want fair pay, we want to be paid what we're worth and be valued.
I think the NHS has been underfunded for a number of years and it's enough is enough.
For fair pay and patient safety.
Charlotte Hooper, a dementia nurse for 41 years with the NHS, doesn't believe that the nurses are striking for the right reasons.
Are the government doing enough? I'm actually not sure I can blame the government. I think I blame the NHS. And I think what they're asking for is ethically and morally wrong. I think they're doing it for selfish reasons.
The priority will be to maintain urgent and emergency services, such as A&E and emergency surgeries. But strikes by nurses will inevitably limit what care the NHS can provide. With nothing there, Connie Harpen, LJMU Journalism.
As Connie reported, today has been all about the nurses. Tomorrow we have a break from the strikes that have been hitting the region. But as Ollie Nolan-Davies reports, there's only one day off, there's more misery to come.
From health to education to the British Museum, this month we'll see an array of unions heading out on strike. This week, staff who are part of the Universities and College Union will go on strike over a dispute in pay. Staff are looking for around a 12% increase as well as a less excessive workload. On Friday, ambulance workers will pick up their placards and megaphones as they fight for a rise in pay, despite Rishi Sunak's claims that their strike is terrifying. The fire service may be the next to take industrial action. The Fire Brigade Union has given the government until February the 9th to come up with a better offer than the 5% pay increase offered last November. The UK could be on its way to its first general strike in almost 100 years. Ollie Nolan-Davies, Mersey News Live.
The chair of Liverpool Transgender Support Group says hate crime against the transgender community in the city has been fuelled by the sensationalism of the row over transgender self-identification. Lily Hunt claims the controversy over a known rapist being jailed in a women's prison, having transitioned after she was convicted, is being used as an excuse to attack the trans community.
That they are using transgender rapists as a sensationalized story to kind of catch attention and to scare people and get clicks and to monetize it. I think it's just despicable, to be honest, because it's very irresponsible. It's very socially irresponsible. It causes hate crime. I'm on the board, the Trans Advisory Board at Merseyside Police, and hate crime is up at the moment due to the political and media discourse. All of these moral panics pass, and I feel that the attention now is on the transgender community and trans women, and a lot of it is rooted in misogyny.
An amendment to the Gender Recognition Reform Bill, which would have prevented people charged with rape and other serious sexual offences from changing their gender before trial, was rejected by the coalition of SNP, Green and Liberal Democrat NSPs. A Merseyside charity is doing its bit to tackle the region's growing rates of anxiety and depression in children. As part of Children's Mental Health Week, the First Person Project is showcasing the support available for children, young people and their families around the city and urging people to open up. Rachel Cohen has more.
Liverpool has one of the highest rates of depression and anxiety in the country, according to a survey of patients registered with GPs. Figures showed that 1 in 5 registered patients in the area suffer with at least one of these 2 mental health conditions. Matty Kane, founder and chief executive of the First Person Project, states how important it is to talk about mental health early and in a positive light.
We only ever have a conversation about mental health when we're talking about negative stuff.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is we have to flip the conversation and talk about mental health in positive terms from day one.
There is a long-lasting taboo when opening up about mental health. This week shows that children in particular need extra support from schools and families.
So mental health literacy in schools, getting young people understanding, that it's okay, creating this culture of acceptance and this culture of difference and diversity. That can happen. Kids spend most of the time in schools when they're young. They spend even more time in the household. So we have to do stuff there as well. It can't all come down to services. Parents and whoever's looking after the child has a huge role to play. But of course then they need to be educated.
This year's theme of Let's Connect is focusing on normalising the act of reaching out to others when struggling with mental health. Rachel Cowan, Mersey News Live.
Moves are being made in Merseyside to bring one of our most excluded communities back into society. Roma travellers have faced racism and discrimination for centuries. Now the Advisory Council for Travellers has teamed up with Liverpool John Moores University to address some of the issues. Annabelle Davies has more.
On Friday, the 3rd of February, ACERT, who is the Advisory Council for the Education of Romani and Other Travellers, held a hybrid conference at John Lennon Art and Design Building. The conference was led by award-winning storyteller Richard O'Neill.
I think the day's gone really, really well. I think it's been a really inclusive day. It's just about inclusion, and I think a few people have said, we are a very, very different group. We're not aliens, but we are a very, very different ethnic minority group. So whether that's Gypsy, Roma, Irish traveller or showman. And it's about trying to find out as much as possible about that group.
ACERT's conference was to advance the education and the protection of Roma travellers. The conference explored storytelling, education and well-being. We heard the development of the Gypsies, Travellers, Roma, Showman and Boaters Pledge, which is run by Sherry Smith and her daughter Ruby, who are both Roman travellers themselves. We heard from the head teachers such as Paula Strachan, Jonathan Green, who are implanting their pledge into education and their schools. Their aim was to show how they work with Roma travellers who want to keep their children in education while also travelling at the same time. We watched a short documentary about Mitch Miller. Mitch Miller is an artist, researcher and showman who also lives and works in Glasgow. Mitch's dialectograms are complex drawings of places created throughout close collaborations with groups and communities, including his own showground community. Lisa Smith, who is the chairman of ACERT, gave us a speech on community involvement and the projects that they are currently doing. Sheldon Chadwick, founder of his own mental health charity called Showman's.
So I'm the founder of the Showman's Mental Health Awareness Charity, which is a charity set up for travelling show people throughout the UK and Ireland.
Touched on the importance of being mentally okay and gave useful tips on how to keep calm in certain situations. Natalie Stables from Salford Ethnic Minority and Traveller Achievement Services was meant to bring their own wagon that was built from scratch. But due to the poor weather conditions last Friday and for health and safety reasons, this was not possible. Annabelle Davis reporting to you live for Mersey News Live.
Everton's fans hope the former winger Christian Atsu has been found after reports that he was pulled from the rubble of the fatal earthquake which struck parts of Turkey and Syria. More than 4,700 people are now known to have died and many more are injured. And now the weather. Well, after a cloudy day, we're in for a breezy night with temperatures dropping to 1 degree centigrade. It's certainly a bit nippy, so wrap up warm. That's it for Mersey News Live team. For more on these stories, head to merseynewslive.co.uk.